Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Harsha from Black Swan Business Setup Services, Dubai. Today, we are going to talk about the labor law, UAE labor law, which is, placed to govern employment relationship and protect the right of both employee and the employer. Some key points regarding the UAE labor law, which you should aware about before you're setting up any company in Dubai and to hire any employee. And at the same time, as an employee, you are going to join any company. The first point let's start with is the employment contract. So whenever you are joining any company or if you're hiring any employee, the first thing which both the third party has to do is like employee has to sign a contract which is known as employment contract, which include everything like it's mention all the terms and condition of the employment, including job roles, salary, working hours, and other relative details related to the job. So it's the employment contract which need to be signed once you hire an employee in a company, and employee when they join a company they need to sign this contract. Second most important point is the working hour. The standard working hour in UAE is approximately a 48 hour usually for a week, which is divided into 6 days. And generally, if you talk about week off, you generally people get week off for 2 days maximum, I think. I mean to say. So 2 days generally, some company give off, like generally Friday is off in UAE, and in some company give off on Saturday as well. Third point is overtime. Overtime is typically paid for work beyond the regular working hours. The rate vary depending on whether the work is done during the normal working hour or on a public holiday. Next point, which need to be understand and is an important part of labor contract is the annual leave. Employee are entitled to pay annual leave, which vary depends on the length of the services. Typically, it's range from 20 to maximum 30 days in a year. So this is, the yearly paid leave which employer has to provide or to give to his employee in a year as a paid salary part. Next, the important part which you need to know about labor law once you finish your job contract. So end of service benefit is also there. There is a point which is mentioned under the UAE labor law that once you finish your service, there are certain benefits which you know employer has to provide to his employee. So employee who complete a continuous period of service are entitled to end of service benefit, which are calculated based on their basic salary and the length of the services they have given to the company. Next point is termination. Like if employee is going to, leave the job because the employer has told them to leave, or the employer is terminating any employee, must follow the terms of the employment contract and the UAE labor law. Notice periods need to be served, and the salary will be given after serving the notice period only. So the termination point is also important, like on what basis employer is terminating the employee. It should be specific. Employee has whole right, a complete right. If he is not satisfied with a reason for the termination, he might can file a case under labor law for the justice and for to take the case to labor law that regarding the termination, that if the termination is not a valid reason given by the employer for the termination. So if everything is okay and if employer is terminating any employee, so yes, they have to follow the contract, labor or employment contract which employee has signed. So whatever the term and condition employer has mentioned in that contract, so employee has to follow that contract, and based on that he need to serve his notice period, and based on that only he will get his salary after the notice period is served. Next is labor card. Like every employee under who is at little lower designation must have their labor card in UAE once they join any job in UAE. The next point under the labor law is like the employer give generally the employment visa to the employee, and this employment visa is valid for 2 years. Earlier it was 3 years, but now from last 2022, end of 2022, then employment visa is valid for 2 years. So this is the important part, like employment visa need to be given by employer. Employer are also not allowed to hire employee on a visit visa, and they cannot, continue taking their services on the basis of in this visit visa. So it is mandatory for an employer, if they are hiring any employee under their company, they have to provide the employment visa, and they need to rotate their salary through WPS, which is an electronic channel which is governed by and monitored by the immigration department. So once the employer is applying for the employment visa of the employee, so employee details, Emirates ID, they get the Emirates ID, which is a proof that they are the residents of UAE for 2 years. That is directly connected with the immigration. And immigration, through immigration, and there is a WPS, the software which is governed by the government and immigration. They check whether the salary is monthly, salary is rotated and given to that employee at the end of the month or not. So it's important for the employee to make sure that they are getting their salary through online banking in their bank, not in cash, because um, companies are not allowed to pay salary if they are hiring employee through cash. So that could be a problem for the company. So make sure for employer, it is very important to know that whenever they are planning to hire any employee, should register themselves in the labor, so that salary rotation will be there under their company. So it's very important to hire any employee under your company. It is mandatory for an employer to rotate their salary to WPS. Health and safety is the major point under the labor law, that if employee is working under any company, so it's a duty of employer to provide a proper health and safety atmosphere where the employee is working. So it is work environment is important to ensure the health and safety of the employee. So make sure, like the place where you're working and employees are sitting, it's a healthy environment, and the safety of employment employee is being taken care by the company. There are other more points which we can discuss about the labor law. And if you have any query, if you want to know more detail about it, and you're planning to come to Dubai to start your own company, or if you're planning to come to Dubai to get your job, you should know what are the terms and conditions under the UAE labor law, which both employee and the employer need to follow. So for more detail, please feel free to contact me. My contact number is mentioned below this video, and you can contact us through our website, which is www.blackswanbusinesssetupservices.com. Thank you so much.